Welcome to my little space, where heart and hook stitch up a place, where we can together make a refuge, safe for all our sake. I wanted to show off this artwork that was beautifully hand-drawn for me. She wanted to draw something and she asked me what she should draw. And I said she could draw whatever she wanted. And she saw my flying spaghetti monster sitting up on a shelf. And she drew it. And she thought he should be Harry. And these are all the people praising Flying Spaghetti Monster. I had to show it off and cherish it forever. So, welcome to a new video from me. I had no orders at the moment for a couple days after getting all orders made and shipped out. What do you say? Yesterday or 2 days ago? No, that was yesterday. So I had no orders, no active orders as of yesterday afternoon, and then this morning I did just make a sale. So I will have a leafling top to make. I will show you that later because I haven't gotten started on that. I need to shop for yarn for that. But in the meantime, I've started making mouth puppet panels. So I'm not sure how many I'm going to make. I wanted to just knock out some of this busy work. All I'm doing right now is I'm going to make beige panels and gray panels, and I'm making 2 at a time because each mouth puppet needs 2 beige panels and then 2 gray panels. So as you can see, I have 3 of these. I'm going to make a gray panel again next. And maybe I'll stop there. Maybe I'll keep going a little bit. I'm not sure. Because the next thing I want to do, I'm restraining myself from jumping into my scrap yarns again to get out all the blues, because next I'm going to make a blue shrug and hood in my line of monochromatic shrugs and hoods. And then I want to make my next Nana, and then I need to get to shopping for yarn for the leafling top. So I like getting ahead each week with my Nanas. And I've just been enjoying doing one of those shrug and hood sets each week as well. So I kind of have it planned to like do the shrug and hood and a Nana each week, like right when I get to, the point where I've finished off all the orders that I had on hand. And each week it's been like that. And like as soon as I'm out of orders, another order pops in, which is sort of perfect timing. And I squeeze these other things in there in between, as well as some other sort of random like busy work for common sellers of mine. So what I do with these is once I decide however many I'm making, I almost have enough of these for 2 puppets. Then I take a gray and a beige panel, I stitch them together to make a pocket for your hand to go in for, and each puppet has a top and a bottom pocket. Each puppet has 2 pockets. And then I can make the lips that I stitch around there. And then that's where I'll leave those. If I do that much, then finishing each puppet based on how people order them, because I have 2 different versions of it, is a pretty quick job. So it's been nice having these available in my drawers over there, having several of these pockets available for when I sell one of those mouth puppets, then I can just finish it up quickly and easily. And I've run out of my mouth puppet pockets. So I'm going to do that a little bit today. I'll show you some crocheting, and then at some point today, yes, I will stop doing that, put it away for later use, and pull out all my blues. All right, well, I sat and watched one episode of The Haunting of Hill House with my mom. We only have 3 more episodes to go. I've seen it before, but I pretty much forgot all about it. So while I watched that with her, I got one more gray panel finished, and I got each of these pockets sewn together. So this will make 2 mouth puppets, as you can see. They're just pockets. And I went ahead and started on the lips. I've made 3. I only need to make 1 more. So they get stitched on around each panel like this, and it covers up that stitched seam like that. So I thought I'd pop on here and start a time lapse while I crochet the last of these 4 lips and start to stitch them on. I think I'll crochet 1 and stitch 1 on time lapse, and then I'll stitch the other 3 on, and then I will get to my blues. Well, I'm on my last lip, getting it stitched on. See, the other 3 are done. Not to be confused with the last leg, which is a metaphor. This is literally the last lip. But I thought I would touch base again. If you saw my rant in my last video about copyright stuff on Facebook, I have a follow-up. So if you didn't catch that, or if you forgot, basically, just to give you a quick recap, I'm using only my own music now. They are recordings that I'm singing in, but the compositions are in public domain. Aside from one other song that I added to my list now that is actually a more recent composition, but I got permission from the composer. Anyway, regardless, Facebook keeps flagging a few of the songs in particular, thinking that I'm using copyrighted music when I'm not, because other actual record labels have recorded these pieces of music as well. So then I put in a dispute every time it happens, and then Facebook takes my dispute to the record label, and then the record label has the opportunity to accept my dispute or to then go on and claim that it is theirs. So I've been getting my reels coming back saying, okay, we've accepted your dispute. Basically, we accept that this is your music. They say that it is not theirs, right? Except for one video that came back where UMG, which I looked it up, that's Universal Music Group, they claimed that, in fact, this song of mine is theirs. So basically, it just said your dispute is rejected, and it gave me no recourse. So the only thing I could think of to do, because there was nothing to click on anywhere else to like escalate, so I shook my phone. And if you're on Instagram or Facebook, if you shake your phone on any screen, you can report a technical problem with that particular, and it like takes a snapshot of that particular part of the website for you or the app. So I shook my phone, I reported a technical problem, and I said, how do I escalate this? And I explained that I have evidences that this is my music. And then I just heard back today, so it's been a few days, I just heard back today that UMG has accepted my dispute. So initially they didn't, but then I guess what I did worked to escalate my dispute, and they accepted it. So now I'm not so worried. I think going forward, I might have to keep still doing my disputes. So I will keep handy my thing that I copy and paste into those to fill those out. That'll be cumbersome, but I'll keep doing it. Hopefully the algorithm starts to learn that these are in fact my songs. But anyway, I wanted to update that situation worked out. It's frustrating, but it's working out. So I'm almost done with this, and then I can put these away. So I've stitched that one half, and I have to stitch around this side now too. So I don't know. Shall we sit and chat a little bit while I do this? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And let me know what your craft is, if you do a craft yourself, because I kind of have a suspicion that a lot of people who find my videos are probably other crafters themselves. But I'm also kind of hoping to appeal to non-crafters and people who are interested in supporting crafters and the arts, because that's my customer base for sure. Is there anything about my vlog style that I should reconsider? Like anything about my editing that's annoying? I'm just curious. I'm open for any input because, wow, I've already done 30 videos. This is going to be my 31st. I feel like already a little bit seasoned at doing this, but I'm still a baby channel, and my long form videos are still not getting all that many views. So I know I'm not doing much in the way of clickbait titles and stuff. I'm just saying it's another chapter in my vlog. I didn't really want to burden myself with having to come up with like topics for videos and doing it that way. I kind of wanted to just say, here's a week in my life doing what I do. So I'm curious if you're enjoying it. If you've been watching since day one, let me know, please. I'd be so curious to know. Or if the views that I am getting are really kind of just sporadic and random from random occasional people that pop in once and then never come back again. I do know a couple of you have told me that you've been watching since day one, and that feels nice. My mom's watching my videos. Hi, Mom. And just like that, I'm done. And I leave my yarn ends hanging loose because then when I stitch other parts on, I tie the ends off together with these, and then I bury the yarn ends. So there we have it. These can go in a drawer over there above the Bernie's drawer. And let's see what we've got going next. All right, here we have the blues that I've separated out. And as you can see, I have also included some brown as a complementary color. This here is the beige that I was just using for the mouth puppets, and I thought, why not include that? I won't put that away. So this is my lineup for the next shrug and hood, and I'm going to be doing repeating panels. So each panel will be the same repeating rounds, but I will be changing the color for every single row, even the single, like the really thin chain row. That's why I can get more colors in here. So this will be fun. I'm going to start here with this little one, and that's just going to be the center for the two side panels. Okay, some fancy frilly blue crochet is happening over here, but that's not why I started this video. I started this video because my good friend Richard wanted to buy 3 nanas from me. The last 3 that I made are him, his wife, and his wife's sister. So, and he paid top price too. So in a hurry, I just subtracted $30 from the total of that and donated it to the ACLU. And then I realized what I was doing before is taking the total price of the dolls before Etsy adds on tax. And I was just not worrying about the Etsy fees. I was just kind of covering that and then keeping $10 for shipping. Well, I just was so excited I donated in a hurry, and I realized that I'm actually paying $94 in extra Etsy fees and the sales tax to ship these. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm still donating the proceeds of these sales to the ACLU if I subtract the Etsy fees and the tax that the customer pays. I think that's totally fine. So in the future, that's how I'll be doing it. And right now, it's just an oopsie. In the next one that sells, I'll probably just subtract that $94. I don't have a lot of extra money to spend, and doing this project is my donation, you know? So, so basically I've overpaid in my donations to the ACLU. So far, that brings my total donations to like $775 something. And I'm pretty excited about that. So basically I overpaid the ACLU for my pledge, which is the 100% of the proceeds minus $10 to cover shipping. And yeah, the proceeds really means like how much I get. Now, Etsy taking a chunk for fees isn't me getting that money. That's me paying that money. And then the customer paying sales tax, that doesn't come to me either. So I hope nobody takes issue with that going forward. But yeah, I want to keep selling these nanas and donating the proceeds. Basically, I'm donating also the supplies, so the materials, the yarns that I'm using. And I have bags and bags of nanas still. So I'm hoping that this big donation that I was able to just do can help like spark some more interest in people wanting some of my nanas. He also chose the very top price, which is more than you have to pay to buy one of my nanas. So I appreciate it, and I I feel like I'm doing a little bit of something. I felt like I had to do something when Trump was elected again, and I'm still doing that something as sort of a self-flagellation for the wrongs of our country in electing him. Anywho, on to the next donation when I make another Nana sale. Good morning. Well, guess what? You know, I just made these yesterday for 2 mouth puppets worth. I sold one this morning, and it's a tongue ties one, and the person did not let me know what button color they wanted. So I have these buttons separated out from my stash there are at least 3 of each color. So I'm just going to mix randomly and pick one. It's white. So then I'll grab 2 more of the same, and that's what I'll use for this mouth puppet. So my plan for today is to finish the shrug that I'm working on. I have the three panels done to this row. So a bit more on this, and then the hood to match so that I can photograph it tomorrow. And then I should still also have time today to finish this mouth puppet. And then tomorrow I need to go to the post office and mail off those nanas and this mouth puppet. And I'm going to go over to Michael's and see about getting some green cotton or bamboo or cotton/bamboo yarn for the leafling top that's coming up. I knew rain was in the forecast for this evening, but I didn't really think anything of it when I decided to take Willie in the car with me to go pick up my daughter from her musical rehearsal today. And he freaked out in the car with me. He was just all vibrating and shaky because it started raining on us while we were waiting in the car for her to come out. I only just barely started to record him when she came out. That's why he started to bark. I figured I'd show you my chaffle recipe. If you've done keto or low carb anytime recently, you've probably heard of chaffles. If you haven't, it just stands for cheese waffle. So as you can see, I start with 2 eggs and a half a cup of shredded mozzarella. I just put a little sprinkle of cinnamon, a little splash of vanilla, a sprinkle of salt, and then I stir it really well. And this recipe is perfect for fitting in my waffle iron. I recommend that if you do this, your eggs, if they are extra large, it may, or if you do a rounded scoop of the cheese, it may be a little bit too much for this kind of waffle iron. That's like one large Belgian style waffle. And as you can see, mine is very burnt looking. Don't worry about that. It still works just fine. So I made chaffles for my kids for dinner, and I figured I'd share my recipe. There are so many different recipes that people like to do. I think the original version used like a half a cup of cheese and 1 egg. So I totally changed the ratio around, but I like how fluffy and bready this turns out. And I also don't like overdoing it on the cheese. So the extra egg helps to have it be a better balance, I think, nutritionally. For my waffle iron, I plug it in and let it heat up, its normal warm-up period until the green light turns on. And then from then on, I just go by a timer. So I'll pour the mix in for 1 chaffle, and I'll let it cook for 7 full minutes. You can let it go longer if you want it a little bit more crispy, but I think 7 minutes is perfect in my waffle iron. And then I just put the next one in and I let it go another 7 minutes. And then I top it with butter and oftentimes yogurt. I usually use whole fat, either regular or Greek yogurt, unsweetened, unflavored. And then I've been just getting the sugar-free syrup from Walmart lately. So occasionally I'll do this for myself too, but it totally works as a really quick dinner for my kids. We only spent a short bit of the morning walking around the Hanford Renaissance Fair, and we saw Daring Daniel. And the Order of the Gauntlet and Rose. Looks like they are based in Fresno. I had to take a second video when I saw they got out the frying pans.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop by.
We also saw a story time by storyteller M. Todd Gallowglass. He is here on YouTube and Instagram as M. Todd Gallowglass. And his story ended with, I just jotted down the line because it was fun and I wanted to try to say it in an Irish accent. I recall now learning a show in an Irish accent, a melodrama show that I did. Here's some pictures for some fun flashbacks in my life. But yeah, his story ended with, "Any time you see an Irish woman waggling a spoon at an Irish man, it's because she's given him a bit of his common sense back." But yeah, you know, at some point, if my channel ever explodes, I would love to have helped bring a little bit of attention to some other creative people. So go check him out. He writes books. You can get his books on audiobook. You can see where he may be performing next if you're in California. And if you feel so inspired, go follow all these people on their social medias. But of course, first order of business for me at any place like this is to find another crocheter. So I did meet Kelly of Kelly's Clever Crafts. Here's her business card. Go follow her too. I arranged my balls of yarn scraps into an order from smallest to largest again to make my next Nana. This one I'll show you in the next week's video. This Nana is going to go live if you follow me on social media on Wednesday. Many vlogs ago, I showed you this cross-stitch design that I did many years ago, back in high school and into college. And I showed you that I got it framed for my partner. And so I just wanted to show you where it's hanging in his house, because look at the colors here. Purple is his favorite color, so I got the matting in purple, and the stitching is all done in blue. And look at this artwork he has over here. This is a photograph of a tree against the sky. But look how well the colors go. Ramen. These hoods whip up so quickly. I do like doing the tassels really long, but I didn't realize how long I was doing them on this one, so it's crazy long. I can always trim it if I need to, but I also wanted to just show you some up close so you can see some of the fancy yarns that are in here. This mixture of yarns and the color just being so kind of regal. This hood feels so luxurious. It feels and looks luxurious. There are teeny tiny sequins in one of these yarns. Some of these are plush yarns, and there is some eyelash yarn in there as well. Hello, hello. I spent the weekend again at my partner's, and now I'm back home. And I took what I thought was what I needed to finish making this Nana and a shrug and a hood. But the two hooks that I brought for the shrug and the hood were wrong. I brought the hook I needed for the hood and a hook bigger than that by accident. I needed a hook smaller than that for the shrug. So I made the hood, as you could see in the video previously of the selfie video in the mirror. And I love how that turned out. Jen of Star Lily suggested that I just braid the tassels. So I'm going to do that. And I'll make that matching shrug in a bit. But what I did in the meantime is, since I finished this one and I finished the hood and I didn't have the hook I needed to start the shrug, I just went ahead and started another Nana. So I just have a foot and a cap. So since I started that, I'm going to finish this next. So this is the Nana that's going to release this Wednesday. Today is Sunday night. And then this Nana, I'm getting well ahead of myself, will be for the following Wednesday. So I'm going to enjoy having to not worry about Nanas for a little bit after I make that. So I'll work on that tonight and probably tomorrow morning. This one is named after my brother. I think she's so festive looking. It's like she's got a snake around her arm too. Nana number 48. We are coming up pretty soon. I will have 52, and that will be marking a whole year of making these. So it's also like she's got a little crown too. The other thing I was going to mention, I'm going to toss that up on my bed. The other thing I was going to mention was that throughout this video, I've said I have a leafling top to make, and I'm not going to be doing that this video this week because I had to end up ordering some yarns online. So what I did is I went to Michael's, and apparently their selection of natural material yarns was really not great. And I was looking for specific green shades for my customer, and there were just not very many options, and they didn't have exactly what I was looking for. So I looked on hobby.com, which I've never used before, but apparently it's all the rage. I see all the crocheters and knitters using that to get some yarn, and that was where the pattern designer had gotten her yarn, and that's also where one of the pattern testers had gotten her yarn, and that was the color that I was going to mimic. So I just was like, you know what, I'll go look and see if I can find the same yarn. So I went to Hobby, and I was shocked at how cheap the prices are. And then I realized, okay, so Hobby is set up as I don't remember exactly what they're called, like a direct to customer model. So it's like, it's got its own factories, and they ship directly to the customer through their website or their app. So I guess it's kind of like Temu in that way, which I've never used Temu. I never really liked the setup. I got a sense that it's like not great for sort of our own economy and stuff. I mean, not to say that the other things that we have, like, big box stores like Michael's are much better, but or Joanne when we had Joanne, but I needed this particular type of yarn in a particular color. So I looked on the website, and I was like, okay, I can make a purchase on here, and I clicked on, I found the yarn that I wanted. I clicked on it to add to my cart, and then I understood the setup, because it gives you a drop-down box where if you buy one skein, it's this much per skein. If you buy 10 skeins, it's this much per skein. 20 skeins is this much per skein. And 20 skeins was the best deal. It was like 30% off or something like that. And it was going to be $1 something per skein, as opposed to like $2 or $3 or something per skein. I don't remember exactly the figures, but basically the way it worked out is that I got 2 different colors and I got 20 skeins of each. Mind you, they are small skeins. They're like, probably like that big. And it's just cotton, 100% cotton. And I put them in my cart, and I could see that the price of the items themselves totaled $67 and some change. And I was like, okay, cool. It gave me the option, like payment options, and I clicked on PayPal. It said quick pay through PayPal. I clicked on that. It took me to PayPal. I didn't even have to sign in because I stay signed in on my phone. And, I just clicked confirm. It took me back to the hobby website. So I'm used to buying stuff online where when it takes you back to the website, then you finally confirm the sale there. But when it took me back to hobby, it said, thank you for your purchase. And then it said $108. And I was like, $108? I saw $67. And of course I was expecting, a tax there, but it also did say that shipping was free shipping, $67. And I was like, okay, it'll be a few dollars more for tax, but $108. So I scroll down and I see the line items. $67 is for the items. And then it had a $33 line where it said duties. And that's when I went, oh, that's Trump's tariff war. So since I am the importer with this kind of business model, I am the importer. I'm importing stuff directly from another country. I'm not buying from a company within our country who's importing stuff and then probably adding, bringing up the sale price for us. It's put on, that fee is put on by, that tax is put on by our government before I can, purchase it. It may have said the total price $108 on the PayPal screen, but I didn't notice it. So I'm not going to, freak out or anything. Like I'm not going to say that they, kept that from me, but I just thought that was fascinating to see. So basically, and then the state tax line item below the duties item was 7 something. Now, what that means is that $7 of tax that was put on was calculated of the total price of the yarn plus the duties, because that would have been about $100. So $7 is about the right amount of tax on about $100 of a sale. So I got the federal tax for the tariffs, and then the state tax of the federal tax and the items. So it's double taxing. So just if you want to shop that way, just know. I will say that when the total 108, when I split that over these 40 skeins, it's still a cheaper deal for me than buying the cotton skeins like that at somewhere like Michael's, at least at full price. But yeah, keep that in mind. If you're buying something direct from one of those kind of direct to customer companies, you can expect to pay 50% more for federal taxes. And then you take that 150% price and then add your state taxes to that too. Or, calculate your state taxes on top of that. So, that's a significant price increase depending on how much you buy direct from overseas. Yeah. So I just thought I'd share that little tidbit, Okay, so Trump's Tariff War has affected me $33 for this purchase, plus the, the extra taxes on top of that were, my state taxing the federal tax. But yeah, look out for that. I'm curious, have you noticed in your own life direct, like directly paying for the tariff war that Trump started? I'm just curious. So anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm boring myself now. So I'm going to work on the next Nana to get ahead, and then I'm going to spread out my purples again that I just used for the hood, and decide what order I want to put them in now again for a shrug. Right after recording that last segment, I got a little slew of orders in for a couple of my Flying Spaghetti Monster ornaments that I already have made, and a Flying Spaghetti Monster tree topper in rainbow colors that I already have made, and a Kamala doll. So I'm just going to whip together a Kamala doll this morning. There's a tongue twister for you. Try saying that 5 times fast. Kamala doll. It's not that hard, actually. So I'm showing you time lapse of the entire process of making a Kamala doll. And with that, I will be signing out for this video. Tomorrow I'll be doing all that shipping, and that will be shown in next week's video. So, crochet hooks and colors bright, crafting wonders day and night. Join the fun, come see it through, subscribe, and I'll create for you.